Hey everyone, welcome back to Baseball Sim Auctions. In today's video, we'll be conducting a World Series based on a recently completed sim auction involving the players from the 1965 Minnesota Twins and the 1966 Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, to get more details on those teams, please take a look at my auction video. As a reminder, in most sim auctions, we take the players from 5 great historical teams. We make all those players free agents, and then from that player pool, we create 5 brand new teams via an auction. Now, this auction was a little bit different. It was unique because we only had 2 participants. And we do that from time to time. Usually it's 5, sometimes it's 4, sometimes 6. 5 seems to be the perfect number, but we do 2 participants once in a while. And that's kind of unique because in a 2-man auction, it's a little bit more tactical and a little bit more like a chess match. So both Paul and I had a lot of fun determining or trying to determine the best way to approach an auction, which only had 2 bidders. Now, in the sim auction version of a World Series, we simulate entire seasons. Each season counts as one game, and then the team that wins 4 seasons wins the sim auction World Series. Now, before we dive into the simulations, let's just take a quick look at the teams that we put together during the auction. Paul, let's see if we can start with your team. Let me pull up that spreadsheet. And I know we did a little bit of this at the end of the auction, Paul, but it's always a good idea to do it before the simulations too. Let's see. Let me see if I could expand this a little bit here. There we go. So what do you think? A lot of hitting, huh?
I think my hitting's pretty good, especially compared to yours. That's kind of my strategy in the draft was get the hitter because I mean we were talking about before. There was so few good hitters in this draft where they're just stand out. Like
Yeah.
really only one good first baseman, only one good third baseman, only one good shortstop. And so I was really trying to get most of that. And on the
Yeah.
pitching, I mean batting's that because on the pitching side, you won the pitching battle, especially with Sandy Koufax. And so I was just trying to get some of those like 13, 12 rated guys.
Yeah.
By basically just trying to make sure I won on the batting. So we'll see how that works out. Feels like another draft we had where my batting's gonna be good, your pitching's gonna be good. Let's see how they match up, I guess. But I have no complaints
Yeah.
about my bats.
Yeah, no, it's no complaints at all. I mean, your composite OPS is 727, which is really good, especially when you look at the player pool that we were drawing from. Um,
And I mean, near the end of the draft, there I had money. I was just buying guys so you didn't have a decent third
right.
baseman catcher.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean, I'm not. Hopefully, the simulations use some of those guys at the bottom there.
yeah. You were no,
I
you
think
were definitely blocking me at the end because I would have wanted, like, for example, a guy like Dick Stewart. I could have used him, but you really didn't need him.
no, no,
Even Gilliam, I probably could have used too. You didn't really need him.
no. But
Um,
about Rich Rollins, maybe Gilliam Down is just more of like I think you nominated those two. I was like, no, I can't let you have them,
right.
and or at least easily. So I just kind of
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Um, And then pitching wise, I mean, considering that that I ended up with a lot of the better guys, you still managed to put together some decent guys here. I think the part that's going to hurt you a little bit is what we discussed during the auction. You have a lot of W's, which is going to create a lot of base runners.
no, I hate the W's
Yeah,
and like the paper game with the car. I'll avoid them like the plague.
yeah.
Didn't do as much this draft, but
Well,
yeah.
and sometimes you just can't avoid it. So
Well, no, you look how much I paid for those guys. That's after you had your lineup all set. So I was kind of picking up the scraps there.
right,
Like, look at yours. You have 2, 4, 5 Z's. Like, you got the Z's.
yeah,
So
no doubt. Um, yeah, I could have probably because I left you. And by the way, I what I did is because I know at the end you paid more for a couple of guys just to minimize the dollars left. I adjusted that again, assuming that you wouldn't have done that, just
no,
to get
yeah.
a true sense of what you would have left unspent. I mean, we both left money unspent. We both could have been more aggressive for sure.
And so I think back at Kofats and some of those other guys, like I have $27 there, and that's that 27 you put. You even go back a few. I was just buying guys just so
Right,
you couldn't have
for
them. Take
two,
out those
right,
guys.
right,
I mean,
right. You
I
would
think I
have
was
even
sitting with like $30, $35 at one point. I'm like, I had
yeah,
nothing else I needed for it.
yeah.
So, yeah,
But
I
again,
didn't win that chess match.
no, but we've talked about that before. It's one of those challenges. You got to value the players, but then you got to manage that money during the auction, which is easier said than done for sure.
Right.
Um, and then with my team, composite OPS of 673. It's really a little bit better than that because some of these bad at bats, I won't use them all, but I will have to use some of them for sure. Any way you slice it, your hitting is better than mine. Um, and I would say, I mean, I was happy towards the end there with what I paid for these guys. Versailles for 15, I liked.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Parker for 7, I liked. Killebrew for 11. Um, and those are some spots where you probably could have bid me up a little bit more too.
absolutely.
Um,
Versailles is the best shortstop by
yeah,
far, and
yeah,
so
definitely.
going for 15 is a steal in
Yeah,
hindsight.
yeah, I was real happy with that one. Um, and then the pitching though I think is going to be the difference maker because if you look at the differential in ERA, 248 compared to 347, that's a whole run difference per game, which is
Right,
pretty significant. Um,
right.
and then with the pitching, yeah, again, with the extra with that money that you didn't spend, you could have bumped me up a little bit. You could have bumped me up a little bit on Koufax, maybe a little bit on Cad. You already pushed me up on Osteen quite a bit and Sutton, but maybe a little bit more on Cad and Koufax for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's going to be, my pitching against your hitting. That's basically the lines in the sand here. So
I'd be surprised if you didn't win at the end because my experience, the pitching helped a lot,
it does. It
and
does.
so you have a pretty
Yeah.
solid four-man rotation there.
Yeah, it's and the thing is, and it's funny because there's one guy, you bought some guys you didn't really need. I really didn't need Joe Moeller. But I brought him up and you stopped at 5, so I took
Yep,
him. But
yep,
but yeah, I pretty much no matter what, you're pitching against a really solid, I mean, you're hitting against a really solid pitcher.
yep.
There's no real holes there, which is one of the recipes for success. It's just not easy to do sometimes because you're not playing by yourself, especially when you have 4 other guys in an auction. There's always going to be somebody to bid you up. In a 2-man auction, it's a little bit more difficult because if you don't bid me up, I get the player for less.
Right,
It's just a different animal altogether, the 2-person auction.
right.
All right, let's see if let me just double check our rotations real quick, make sure I didn't make any changes while I was doing the test sims. All right, so I'm going with a 4-man rotation. That's correct. And then here's yours. And you're going with the 5. Okay, good. So we are all set. And you got Billy Martin 3 as your manager. I got Buck Miller 2. All right. All right, here we go. Season 1. This is going to go really fast, Paul, because there's only 2 teams.
All right.
So I might just keep it at the standings window here, and then maybe we can go and check a few box scores because this is going to
Whatever, yeah.
basically
Yeah,
it's
you're
going
the
to
one
fly.
running it, so it makes it easier for y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to fly really quick here. All right, let's take a look at our standings early on. All right, 6-6 really early. All right, I got a 4-game lead after 26 games. 2-game lead after 40 games. Still close. 5-game lead after 57 games. 5-game lead after 75 games. Still very close. 2-game lead after 94 games. Open it up a little bit to 8 games
Man,
now after 114, bigger spread now. We got a magic number now. And it looks like a clincher. Let's see what the final result here is. See if there's any rainouts. No rainouts. Final record on this first season is 88-74. So it was really, really close there for 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, it
And
was.
then it opened up a little bit at the end. Let me record this and then we'll check a few box scores. All right, let's see. Let's go back in here. Let's just take a look at it. We might as well look at the very first game first, and then we'll look at a few others here. So game 1, you won in extra innings. Well, Koufax didn't pitch great. He did strike out 10.
Probably a rare loss for Koufax in this situation.
Let's see what else. So you won it in the top of the 10th. I out hit you 11-6, but
Yeah.
yep, but you won. That's all that matters. Lefevre. That was a good buy.
Man.
$12. That was a good buy for him.
No, yeah, he was good.
Yeah. So there's game 1 in the books there. Let's see if we can catch any other ones. So actually, you clobbered me in game 2. What happened in that one? Cat got throttled. Perry pitched a great game. And Mincher and Roseboro homered for you.
He still got 9 strikeouts. I mean, there's that pitching there. Even your guys you're throwing in the loss are still good relievers.
Good point. Yep. So game 2 goes over to you, and then game 3 actually was a slugfest. Forget pitching on that one. So that one I win. Pascal doesn't have it. Nelson doesn't have it. Boswell comes in relief.
He had 5 home runs with a grand slam.
Oh,
Man.
that'll definitely help you win.
And
So
that was the second home run of the game too. Oh,
my
first. No. Yeah.
no, he hit the slammer. Yeah.
Right. I misread
Yeah.
it.
Yes, and he's a guy that I bought at the end for $1 because of his 120 at bats. So that's nice. Not a lot of at bats, but decent at bats. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at a few more here. So then you come right back and win 12-1. Drysdale, complete game. See, this is the stuff that sometimes I wonder what the manager's thinking here. With the deep pitching staff that I have, why would you allow Sutton to get hammered like that?
Right.
Because
But
I have a
he
deep
definitely played him out. Yeah.
I got a deep bullpen. Like, why would you allow that to happen? That is weird.
Or ruin his ERA for the season just for that one game.
Pretty much. Oh boy. Yeah, you pretty much. Let's see who the hitting star for your team was. Allison drove in 4 with 3 hits. Yeah. Oliva 3 hits. Yeah. So
Even
no.
then, though, you got 8 strikeouts on me. I'm looking at that pitching, like
Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
that
No.
adds up over time.
Well, and to be fair, I only scored 1 run against your pitcher, so I don't think it would have mattered much. But I mean, come on, Buck Miller, can you please take Sutton out? I don't know, after 5 runs. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to find like a game that where maybe Koufax pitched a really good game. Let's see this one. That's Austin. There's Koufax. All right, not super. This guy I thought might hurt you a little bit, Boswell, because of that W. He's your fifth starter, so it depends on how much he gets used.
Yeah, it's just like the problem with my pitching was that the guys that ended up with didn't have a lot of innings pitched. It's like
Right,
I couldn't just roll out a 4-man rotation, or if I did, they're just going to throw in crap anyway. So
right, right.
might as well just throw
But
him in there. But no, he's not a cornerstone of my team for
yeah,
sure. He's the hole in it.
no, I hear you. All right, let me go and save these stats. I got to go to that other module, and then we'll get back to season two. And then at the last season, Paul, we'll take a look at all the stats,
Okay.
the deciding season. And then of course I'll compile all the seasons and send them to you.
What do you think of Suzuki not being unanimous in the Hall of Fame?
Um, I I think he should have been the guy that I have some questions about whether he's a Hall of Famer in my mind is Sabathia. I mean, if you look at his career, Paul, that the last couple of years were just about accumulation. They were not that good.
No, no, you could argue if he wasn't a Yankee, would he be in the Hall of Fame? And that's a
Yeah.
fair question.
So I mean, I get it. He had a couple of good years there where he was very good. Obviously, he won the Cy Young with the Indians, but man, when I look at his entire career,
Right.
like I just never thought of him as like one of the best pitchers. For a little window there, yes, but not for his entire career.
No, definitely good marketing. Just being in the Yankees there near the end, just kind of being the big picture on the
Absolutely.
big stage, gave him all that attention.
Yeah, I absolutely. And I've never been a big believer, and if you believe so, I respect it. But I've never been a big believer in like how many rings you have. To me, doesn't mean anything. It's about what did you do? Like what did you do in your career? That we're not putting the
Especially for
Yankees.
baseball.
Yeah,
Especially for baseball. I totally
like
agree with that statement.
I mean, we're not putting the team in the Hall of Fame. We're putting the player in the Hall of Fame. So whether you have five rings or one ring or no rings, who cares?
The only credence I would ever give to if he just had five amazing, like if you're the best postseason player ever, okay, that's one
Yeah,
thing. But if you're
yeah,
just on the team, that's cool, not taken away from it.
right.
But no, the over 162 games times 15 seasons, we kind of get an idea of what the stats are for a player. And
Absolutely.
um, so, no, I agree with that statement you just said totally. And that's what I was kind of joking, complaining, like, if he wasn't on the Yankees near there for half his career, or whatever, he might not be in the Hall of Fame. He
And
might still be, who knows? But
yeah, I could talk. I mean, there was a time there where I was really follow the Hall of Fame very, very carefully, and I care more than I do now. But now I see a guy in the Hall of Fame like Harold Baines, who was a nice player, but not a great player. Um, and then apart from whatever you might think about, the steroid stuff. I mean, I'm sorry, but Roger Clemens, steroids or no steroids, was a better pitcher than CC Sabathia. It's just, but he's probably never going to be in the Hall of Fame. So it's just like, who
well,
knows?
and same thing for Barry Bonds.
Same
I
thing.
know he had steroids, but without those, I think he was still a pretty good player without the steroids. And
Absolutely.
baseball let him because they let him
Yeah.
get all that home runs for all the attendance. And so it's
Exactly.
same
Yeah.
thing. Might be for the NFL Hall of Fame. It seems like everyone's getting in it now. It's like kind of what's every because they have like these few people who are in, and then they bat date all these ones, right? The people who should
Right.
have been in it. Now, like it's kind of everyone's getting it, so kind of a
Yeah. You
shoulder
get
rug
you
shrug.
gotta yeah you gotta draw the line somewhere. I mean, it's not the Hall of Fame of good players. It's the Hall of Fame of great players, right?
Right.
So yeah. So anyway, I do know that the voters, the baseball writers of America, as some of the older guys fade out or retire, because you got to actually be actively covering baseball to stay as part of the voting body. So I do think as some of the older blood dies out and some newer blood comes in, it's possible that that at some point some steroid guys might get in. Who knows? I mean, it won't be Bonds and it won't be Clemens from the voting body because they're already past the 10 years. It'll have to be
Right.
the old the veterans committees.
The retroactive things they do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like the way they put Allen and Dave Parker in this year. Yeah,
Well, yeah, at some point, a generation will come by who doesn't care about the steroids because they don't care because they didn't
Exactly.
experience it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. So we're back to 0-0. So season two. Actually, before that, can you see the screen, Paul? I just want to
yep, I
confirm.
can see it.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Season two on its way.
That is 2 opening day wins against Koufax. I'll take it.
Nice. Yeah. This is starting out the same way. 6-6. All right. 4-game lead after 28. 3-game lead after 51. Up to 8 now.
Mm,
We are at 74 games. Up to 13. We have 101 played. 21. Looks like I'm pulling away a little bit on this one. Magic number of 5.
yeah, good job.
And this one, they were pretty solid. Let's see. Final tally is 96.
Man.
96. All right, let me save these stats. You know what? We're doing pretty good on time. Let's take a look at the stats for this season too. So we'll do this season and we'll do the last season.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna have to share. Let me save them first, and then I'll share the screen so you can see the stats. Can you see this screen, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So here we have the pitching. Let me just sort this by sorted by ERA. Actually, it's usually a little bit better to sort it first by innings pitched. So let me do that. We can still see the ERA. So up at the top, I got my money's worth. Koufax,
Sure did.
25 and 11, 192, 322 innings. Cat did well too.
300 strikeouts.
Yep, very very nice. Yeah, 305 strikeouts. So the top 3 innings guys are for me, and then Grant comes in, who pitched very well for you. So did Drysdale actually. Uh, and then Sutton kicks in there. Um, I, to be honest with you, I actually think the key to the team, even though obviously Koufax goes without saying, but this guy I thought was a key for me. Regan. I mean, his ERA was even lower than Koufax's.
Yeah, I let him go because it just money wise, I was looking for starting pitching at the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's
but
probably the third best pitcher in the draft, maybe.
yeah, I mean, almost
Uh,
100 innings. Well, basically 100 innings at a
right.
154 ERA. That's lethal. So yeah, he was. I thought he was a big key to the auction for me. All right, so that covers the pitching. Koufax 7 shutouts. Hard to argue with that.
He was worth
Um,
all the money there.
yeah, no, he definitely was.
He was worth all the money you didn't pay for him.
uh, you're right about that. All right, that covers the pitching. Let's see. This is the qualitative hitting. Let's sort this by OPS. Not that. Base plus slugging. There it is. Um,
Oh man.
yeah. So even though even though you had the best hitting, it was going up against really good pitching,
Yep.
which knocked them down a peg. So even again, you got the best hitting, but if you look at the first, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 guys are all mine.
Yeah.
even though on paper you had the better hitting. And to be fair, none of these guys were like incredible. 807 was the best. So there was good pitching in this particular season, but Killebrew
No,
was
but it's the best relative. It's
right.
all relative when there's
Yeah,
only two teams, especially.
yeah.
I mean, my
Plus
best is
uh,
695.
Lefevre, yep, 695. So
Yeah.
everybody on your team was below 7.
Yeah.
So that gives you the qualitative stuff. Let's do the quantity stuff. Let's sort this by home runs. Yeah, so Killebrew was first there as well. Mincher, I really wanted. Just I forget why I didn't go deeper with him, but I really wanted him. Um, Willie Davis, not bad. 30 doubles, 10 triples, 22 homers.
Man.
And this guy got my money's worth here.
I
Cruz.
just that's why I just saw that.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
48.
yeah. And at an 82% success rate. So that
You
worked out nicely.
went for a dollar.
Yeah, that worked out nicely. Um, so that gives us the quantitative. And again, this is only season 2.
All
I'll give
right.
you all the seasons combined.
It was a good season for you. Yeah.
Yeah, this one worked out pretty well. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is the composite summary. So let's see.
Man.
So here, I mean, here's the big difference here. Obviously,
Whole run a game.
a whole running game. Yeah, yeah,
And
and
I'm barely batting 200 as a team.
yeah. So that will do it. Let's see. OPS. I wish APBA would give us an OPS column. So I have to do it in my head here. So I would be at 661. You would be at 571. So almost an entire 100 basis point difference there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's all from quality of pitching, I would argue.
correct.
Like you said
Correct.
earlier, and like it happened in our other draft.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not like your hitters forget how to hit. They
No.
are what they are, and then it's the pitcher that then impacts how low they go.
I'm facing Koufax, and then the guy with the 1 ERA comes in the close for you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too is um actually well, let me show you on the spreadsheet. You still see the spreadsheet?
No, just the
No. Hold on.
simulation. That's it.
Okay, good. Um so what I wanted to show you was share this other one. So the other thing that was impactful was they're good pitchers, but then my top 3 guys are all lefties. And then look at the platoon factors. Oliva, 5. Paul, 5. Mincher, 5. Um, Roseboro, 3. So not so bad with Roseboro. But arguably 3 of your top best hitters, they basically made Austin and Cat, they turned them into like a grade 18. So that had a big impact because basically your top lefty hitters are every single game almost they're going up against 8 pitchers,
Yeah,
and
I
that
didn't really factor that in when drafting. I was just trying to get my, but yeah,
yeah
that's a big swing. Especially
yeah
when those guys are those are my
yeah
guys.
because you basically have these 3 guys here are +5 on my lefties. So basically you get let me see my lefties. I mean, obviously with Koufax it doesn't really matter. He's already a grade 21. But basically anytime that Mincher, Oliva, and Hull batted against Cat or Osteen, they weren't batting against a 13. They were batting against an 18. That's huge. So that had a big impact.
That's enormous.
Yeah, yeah. But again, it's not necessarily something that you can plan during the auction. And I did want to get two lefties. I just got lucky that I got three. And then you ended up with the lefty hitters, and that created the problem for you.
No, I didn't. I can do it in the sense I knew I was going to go for those outfielders, and I could have looked at the pitching and saying, "Hey, I should not let Andy just stack up with lefties, maybe."
Right.
And I did. I like for Cat and Austin especially. Like I pushed it, but like I kind of, especially for Cat, I stopped at 22. It's
Yeah.
like put a fat Cat on my team, and you'd be stuck with one of my righty guys.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
so
you
I didn't
pushed
even
me on
really
us.
factor that in at all when I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Really,
But to be fair, Paul, I mean, basically when I go into an auction, I usually have like a little list of what I'd like to do. But again, you're not operating in a vacuum. So what you might want to do might be something that your opponent also wants to do. And you're
oh
gonna
sure.
get so it's almost like I have like a little wish list. And if I could accomplish a few of those things on my list, then I'm happy. But you can't cover all the angles. There's just no way. But I better shut up because I'm pointing too many secrets out to you here. So I better just shut up. Stop
Yeah, I'm gonna
talking here.
draft all the lefties. That's how we play.
All right, let's get into season 3 here. Let me shut off the StatMaster program. All right, here we go. And Paul, just confirming, can you see the league manager screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Let me
Hoping for
pull
3 opening day wins against Koufax.
There you go.
Got to root for something here.
All right, season 3, here we go.
Nope.
Oh, all right, let's see where we are in the early going. Very close early going after 21 games. And back to the standings, opening it up a little bit after 39 games. A little more now after 57 games. About the same after 78 games. Big jump there. We're at
You're thumping me
100,
2 seasons in a row now.
about 100 games now in the books. Picked up a little ground there. 124 played. But then it jumped the other way all of a
Already
sudden.
clinched.
Yeah. So let's see where we end up here. Let's take a look. No rainouts. Final season total of number 3 is 101. First one that cracks 100.
You're only getting stronger as we go along.
It's a strong pitching staff. It really is. It's just tough to overcome those really good arms.
Definitely going to overcompensate in our next one.
But be careful when you did that the last time. You ended up paying 59 for Carlton.
Yep, I did. And I think I got about the same ones as I did.
Well, you know what the problem is in this next one. There really isn't like a stud pitcher,
No, there's not even a guy worth really. There's a
right?
few. I mean, you could go after that I can't remember who the 14 was, but you could go after him, I guess. But
Yeah,
why not just wait for the 12 to pop up then at that
yeah,
point?
yeah. I think the 14 is Wilbur Wood of the White Sox. But again, usually from in the auctions that you've been in, you're like the stud has been like 16 and above. And
And
there's
they go
really
for
not
$40+, and
right.
so
And there's no real stud in this one. All right,
is
let me.
Steve playing in the next one?
I know.
Oh, well then they're not gonna go for anything.
No, the next one, yeah, you're gonna meet a couple of new people in the next one. So the next one has a guy who actually won last year, one that I didn't play in, that I was just the auctioneer. So I'm kind of eager to play against him. Um, and then what else? We have Derek, who you played with
Yes.
the last one. So he's the only one that you're gonna know. And
Cool.
then a guy by the name of Nick, who runs an APBA league that I play in. So
Oh,
he's a pretty sharp guy, but this is only going to be his second auction. But in the one auction that he did play, he left a whopping $49 unspent.
okay.
So it's possible that he might also overcompensate
Okay.
and be more aggressive. So
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. Because that tends to happen when you don't spend a lot of money in one auction, you come back like ready to rock and roll on the next one.
I'm ready
So
for the next one. I see all that money on the table. I'm ready for it.
so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Um, I will give you one heads up. Teddy, the guy that won that one auction, he does like hitting. So you might be keep that in the back of your mind because
Okay.
he will bid on hitting for sure.
You say it's 4 people next time? Or are you just
No,
hosting, or are
it'll
you
be
playing?
five. No, I'm gonna play
Oh,
in
okay.
this one. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be five. All right, let me save this or I will forget him. All right, looks like all that is saved. Let's go back into our league manager screen and run season 4. All right, here we are, 0-0. Season 4 is on
I don't
its
see it,
way.
by the way. I
Oh,
see the
oh, you,
spreadsheet.
oh, good. Thank you for letting me know. Let's
I
see
do
here.
want to see if I can beat Koufax in opening day again.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, here we go. Uh-oh,
Two for
Sandy
two.
pitched a good. Yep, Sandy pitched a good one there. We'll have to check
Probably a
that
complete
box
game
score.
shutout. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, early going, very close. 11-9 after 20 games. So 20 in the books. Let's take another look. Open it up a little. 6-game lead. 38 played. 9-game lead after 57 played. 14 games, so chipping away.
Yeah, that first season turned out to be kind of a fluke, I guess. This is
It
more of
was
the
the first one
average.
was yeah, it was really close.
Yeah, I was
But
like 3 games back with third of the
we're like
season to
three
go.
three quarters of the season, yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, after 120, 118 played and clinching 136 in the books. And let's see, no rainouts. So season 4, the final tally is an even 100.
You won the chess match there, Andy.
Well, Paul, it really is that. It's definitely a chess match. The two-person auction is it's like where do I go and what do I give my opponent so that I can take this piece over here. It's definitely is. But I hope you enjoyed it enough to try it again.
Absolutely, I had a total blast, Andy. Total blast.
I'm so
I'm
happy
just
you
I'm
enjoyed
just
it.
motivated to beat you now. That's all it is. I'm just motivated to
I
beat you now.
and that's cool. That's exactly what you want. And I enjoy it no matter what. So all right,
Man,
let me.
my pitch. I knew my pitching wasn't that great, but yeah.
You, you'll get a you'll get
Especially when you said the platoon thing, that really just kind of I was like, okay, you do have a huge advantage over me because I thought like you have Koufax, but you have some 13 pitchers. I have some 13 pitchers, but you actually have some 18 pitchers against half my lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Because keep in mind, so Koufax is 21, but basically for three hitters, those two other guys get bumped up to almost Koufax level.
It's not just three hitters. Those are like that's the core of my auction,
Right.
the core of
Right.
my hitting group. That
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
something I need
And
to keep in
that,
mind in future. One
yeah,
on ones, I don't know how with five people I can keep track of that, but one on
right.
one, I can keep an eye to that.
Correct. Correct. And to be fair, not in every auction will it have that kind of an impact. It just so happens that in this auction you had like three of the top guys with five platoon. You know, if
Right.
it's two platoon, not a big deal. But five in this case is a big deal for this
I,
auction.
I so didn't factor that, Andy. I hid that column so I could have more room for other stuff. That's how much I didn't factor it in.
Okay.
I was like, oh, I don't, I'm not worried about it right now. It's just
All right.
that's why I'm laughing at myself.
So basically what I'm telling myself now is I should have just shoved my big mouth, is what I'm
I
telling
never would
myself.
have known. Yeah, so never would have known.
No, no worries. You would have found out eventually the more you do these. All right, so let
It
me
just
see.
exaggerates it with two people, obviously.
It does. It does. Yeah. Um, well, and when you have more, like for example, if we had have five people in and these two teams were in the auction, obviously a few others, it would have been a lot more difficult to get those three lefties together because you would have been bidding against three other
It
guys.
probably been impossible.
Yeah. So
Because they would have gone for in the 30-40 range because those were
yeah,
the top guys of the draft.
correct. So
Um,
it's a little fluky when you have two guys.
so
Yeah.
it exaggerates with two people, which is
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of fun thinking about it right now.
All right. So let me see. I got it saved here. Let me save Stat Master and then we'll look at those stats too. So we're all done with this one. All right. Got them saved. So let me bring them back up again so you can take a look at this one and then I'll send all this in a spreadsheet.
Right, right.
All right, let me share this.
I was trying
Let
to
me
find the last one. I think this is still on my higher win totals.
this one.
At least that first season.
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah.
very deceiving. That was obviously a fluke. Um,
You can see this, right, Paul?
yep, yep. I'm watching.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's Koufax again doing his thing. 28 and 11. 169. Um, same combo. Look at Regan again.
Yeah,
147 in
39
104 innings.
saves, 100
39 saves.
innings.
Yeah, that's lethal. Um,
You know, in a normal season, 291, 314, 290. I'll take those.
correct.
But facing against Koufax, it's just not as good.
Yeah. Well, even a guy like, for example, look at Pascal. 371 normally is not a horrible ERA,
It
but
doesn't
in
not a 419 ERA.
yeah, yeah, in this environment,
It's all relative, yeah.
yeah, yeah, because he goes 4 and 19 for you, and I'm not. I mean, I don't usually pay attention to win and loss records, but 4 and 19 is a little harsh.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so that covers the pitching. Let's take a look at the qualitative hitting. Why do I keep doing that? There we go. OPS. All right, so Etchebarren, these two guys don't count, no, because they don't have a lot of at bats.
Yeah.
But Fairley turns
Yep.
out, and it's same scenario as the last one.
Oh, look
The
at all
top
that.
top guys are all mine.
4, 6, 8. You have 13 of the top 4, 12 of the
Yeah,
top 13 there.
yeah. Mincher's the only one that wedged his way in there. So,
Ah, all the
and
money I
then
spent on those.
yeah, and here's the platoon factor that we just discussed. So real life, Tony Oliva was like 870 OPS, I think. Look at
Yeah,
what he did. Look at what he did on this one.
two
He's
over 200 less.
yeah. he's basically going against three ace pitchers. Three out of my four guys are 18 and above anytime that Oliva was batting against them.
What season was this again? Was that was the
Six
67 Dodgers?
66 and then 65 Twins.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Because I'll be curious to see. I'm gonna look it up afterwards, see what his versus lefty stats were, and maybe that's more accurate.
Yeah.
Um, man,
Yeah. So that definitely hurts. Let's see what we got on home runs.
yeah, I had to Google it. Versus that season, he was 698 OPS against lefties.
Oliva was?
Yeah, 927 against righties, 698 against lefties, and he's
Okay.
facing a lot of lefties
Yes.
this season. I had to look
Yes.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty accurate. Um, wow, I got
Because I
my
did think
money's
of it a little bit when we're making our righty lefty lineups. But I saw you had three lefties. I'm like, well, that's going to be more than half the season. And I'm not going to throw those guys at the bottom of my lineup. So I just kind of I'll just let it ride.
right.
Maybe I should
And
have been more picky about it, but they're so good. I don't know who I could replace them with.
no, I don't think it would have. I would have done the same thing. I would have kept them in there and just took my chances with them. Yeah.
That's what I did.
Because honestly, what are you going to do? Replace him with one of those below 600 OPS guys? That
No, no
doesn't make
way.
sense either. Yeah.
No
So,
way.
um, nice year from Versailles. 35 doubles, 13 triples, 28 homers.
Other than Koufax, that's my biggest kick me of the draft was letting you get Versailles like that. He went for way too cheap.
Yeah,
I mean, I
because
don't
you
know if it
had
would
the
change anything for me, but he was just so good.
yeah. I was looking at that the other day because I was thinking, okay, you had 26 left, and maybe could have been even more. I had 10 left. So I thought, okay, you probably could have stopped me on Killebrew or Versailles. But if you did try to, I was going to bump them up as high as my money would allow me to,
Yeah.
which then would have meant that you might not have been able to get Lefevre.
No,
Um,
no, good point.
you know
Especially
what
near
I
the end
mean?
there. No,
Yeah. So I think
good point.
your only play on that money, I think, would have probably been bumping me up on the pitching. I think. I mean, you could
At
have
the
bumped
beginning,
me up a
earlier in the draft, absolutely.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, let me see what my cheap second baseman did here. No, he's still not bad. 36 and 11. I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy on that first season we looked at that had like 50 stolen base attempts and like only got 20 of them. Maybe it
Yeah,
was
that was
Davis up. Maybe it was Davis up there. He had a horrible percentage on
oh yeah. Oh yeah,
one of the seasons we looked at.
Davis. Yeah, Davis and well here even here too, 58% is horrible. Um, that's the one thing that I don't like about Buck Miller. Buck Miller is very like he looks at the real life totals and he'll try to stick to them even if the percentages are not good. So that part I do not like about Buck Miller because the manager that I would want is if his real life percentage is crappy, I would want the manager to say, no, I don't care if you stole 40 stolen
Stop
bases.
running the bases.
Yeah, I'm not going to run you. So I have to look to see what manager would do that without losing all the benefits of Buck Miller. I haven't really had time to do the research. But yeah,
Right.
so for example, this guy, no, you shouldn't be running him. He obviously gets caught. Just like don't run him at all. Yeah,
That's not even a sabermetric thing. Like I don't think any manager would like that number.
right. No, if it's anywhere near 50-50, I mean, don't do it.
There I am batting 200 again. Man.
Yeah, that yes, yeah. I mean, composite OPS 581 compared to 670. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then that same differential on ERA, a little over a run.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know not the
Ah.
results you wanted, but it looks like you picked up a few pointers though.
Hey, Andy, I had a blast. It's fine. It's
Uh,
all good. I had a blast.